every other flagship Samsung phone in the past few years comes down to this. Hold on 1 second. I gotta take this. This is John. Yeah. Hold on 1 sec. It's Google. They want to send us a Pixel 5 early. So this obviously isn't the Pixel 5, but it should be. So this exercise wasn't to say, hey, this is the Pixel 5, but it was an example of what Google needs to do to get the Pixel 5 right. The direction that they should be heading with now their 5th generation of their own hardware to make it a success that I want it to be, and I think it really could be. So we are still like 7 or 8 months away from the Pixel 5 becoming a real thing, and since I switched to Android, I keep thinking about all the phones that are coming because there's so many new things that are always around the corner, and the phone that's been in my pocket recently has been the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, and it kind of got me thinking, could this be the framework for what Google's going to use for the next generation Pixel? Could a phone like this be the benchmark for success for the Pixel is going to be? From cameras to cutouts to screens to processors and RAM, could this finally be the ultimate Google Pixel? So I kind of wanted to see what the S20 Ultra would look like if it got pixeled up, and I essentially made it a Pixel clone, all free, no rooting required, took about 10 minutes of my time, and I got a device that looks absolutely amazing and really close to stock Android. And if you've got your heart set on a Pixel 5 or one of the Samsung Galaxy S20s, be sure to subscribe because we hit 1.7 million subscribers. We are going to be doing a Dream Phone giveaway. So if we use the S20 Ultra as the basis for what the Pixel 5 could be, there's a lot of things that you could potentially be excited about. A giant, beautiful, high refresh screen. No more notch or chin. We've got a little hole punch up top. Incredible camera selections when it comes to focal lengths, what they can do. Space zoom on board. The latest Snapdragon 865 processor, 8K video. You've got 5G support for pretty much any carrier in the US. There's a lot of awesomeness in that package. So the Pixel line has kind of evolved into the phone that most people love to hate and hate to love. The camera enthusiasts swear by it because images you get from the Pixel line are really second to none in the mobile world. But for every amazing thing that the Pixel can do, there's a flip side to that coin where somehow it's deficient. Whether it's design or battery life or memory issues or video quality, there's always something that's held the Pixel back from being the amazing device that it can be. And none of this is Pixel hate. This is coming from a place of love, somebody who used the Pixel 4 XL, used the 3, used the 2, and used the 1, and is excited about what the Pixel 5 can be, and hopefully it can be my next phone and perhaps yours too. But there's a lot of fundamental things that Google needs to fix with the next generation of Pixel to finally get this right in their 5th try. So ever since Google announced the first Pixel, it's kind of been going at an uphill battle for them. Before that, there was the Nexus line, and different manufacturers had a chance to make their version of a stock Android phone. The cool thing about the Nexus line was, if you didn't like one year's phone, the next year a new manufacturer have a crack at it. It'd be something totally different, from LG to Motorola to even Samsung's take on Google's hardware was awesome. You didn't know what you're going to be getting year over year, and that was kind of fun. Since the Pixel launch, though, you've kind of had a sense of what you're going to be getting. An amazing camera experience, stock Android, frequent updates. But aside from that, you're going to get generally considered an uninspired but very utilitarian design that some people tend to enjoy. Not the best display out there, not the best video quality out there. There are some things about the Pixel line since the very beginning that have been head scratchers, features that pretty much every flagship Android phone has had at some point in time. Things like expandable storage, IP68 waterproofing, wireless charging, and some of these features have been added over time, but it still seems strange that the flagship Google phone, their device, would be missing really key features that competition has always had. And none of this is to say that the Pixel is a bad phone. It's an amazing device. But when Google's competing at this high of a price point, and the price point seems to keep going up and up each generation, you could get a checklist of all these flagship features from other manufacturers that you're just not getting with the Pixel. The value for the dollar is so far off. So it's obvious that the Pixel line is Google's passion project. Yes, they've bought hardware companies, they do make their own hardware, but they are primarily, their bread and butter is a software company, and they tinker in hardware. For the Pixel 5 though, I think that needs to be flipped. Hardware needs to be the priority here. 5 generations in, they've had time to learn, evolve, and change to make the Pixel 5 the home run that I think it needs to be. So in my switch to Android, the Pixel 4 XL was the second Android device that I went to after the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and I still see the appeal of the Pixel 4 XL. The utilitarian design, I loved the orange back of it, the way it felt in the hand. Squeeze for Google Now. There's a lot of things to like about the Pixel. Obviously the camera has been amazing, but every amazing thing the Pixel has, there's a flip side to that coin. So luckily for Google, by the time the Pixel 5 comes out, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 fixes a lot of these problems. Past history is any indication, we might even have the 865 Plus. That'll bring things like pretty awesome 8K video and 5G support with the X55 modem. A lot of things that the Pixel is going to have, especially if it's going to compete in that $1,000-ish price point. So all that is kind of my thoughts, my wishes for the Pixel 5 as somebody who's a fan of the line. But October, again, is still 7-ish months away. So despite these leaks and rumors coming out, we're not quite at the Pixel point where we get these gray market Russian unboxings that we saw with the Pixel 4. So maybe there's still time, maybe there's still hope, maybe there's another prototype floating around the Google Labs that is going to bring this ultimate Pixel experience, that perfect combo of hardware and software, to the masses. So the things we do know about the Pixel 5, or think we know, come from my friend and friend of the channel, John Prosser from Front Page Tech, who's got a really reliable track record of leaking Pixel devices. So here's what he thinks and what his sources tell him the Pixel 5 could look like. Supposedly this is one of 3 designs that's been floating around Google, and I got one thought on this look. So for the Pixel 5, in my mind, to be a success, it needs a few things. First, they have to fix the battery issues. This phone has to easily get through a day. We've got flagship phones now with 4,000 plus milliamp hours. I'd like to see at least a 4,300 to 4,500 milliamp hour battery. I'd like to see 5G support, universal 5G support for millimeter wave and sub-6 unlocked, so it'll work on any carrier in the US's 5G. I'd like to see that refresh rate go up to 120 hertz, although the 90 on the Pixel 4 XL I do think was very good. And if they keep it at 90, I wouldn't be too disappointed. And some of what I'm saying here, I recognize is contradictory. I started off by comparing this to the Galaxy S20 Ultra, depending on what price you're paying, a $1,400, $1,500 phone. Crazy amount of money. Then in the same breath, say I think the Pixel is too expensive. There has to be some variance there. Google made an amazing line of phones with their Pixel 3a and 3XL. I think there's a very strong case to be made that perhaps that should be the level they are competing at. You get really good value for the dollar with those lines. So I think if Google does want to compete in that like $1,000-ish price point, they have to give you $1,000 of value beyond just really good camera and software updates. So all this criticism of the Pixel 5 is coming from a genuine place of love. I think there's so much potential in what Google has and can do that I want it to be great. And I think with a little bit more love, the Pixel 5 could be not only the perfect Android phone, but be the perfect phone for anyone, regardless of what OS you prefer. And I think we may get there with the Pixel 5. We got plenty of time before we finally see it. Maybe Google will see the reaction to John Prosser's leaks and make those changes, or use one of the other two concepts they have floating around. And we might get, even if not by name, finally, the Ultra Pixel.